A very good day to all. Welcome back, dear students. Myself, Mrs. Nympha Mascarenhas, your biology lecturer. Dear students, in my previous videos, we have been studying about plant kingdom, right? So we have finished chapter 3, which completely deals with plant kingdom. So basically, we can say that we have totally completed unit 1. Okay, unit 1 consisted of 4 chapters, of which I have dealt with 3 chapters for you all. Okay, and in my previous videos you have seen that we have totally finished unit 1 consisting of all the 3 chapters, and the other chapter, that is about plant kingdom, that is about animal kingdom, it was been finished by the other faculty member from the biology department. So here you can see that we have stepped into unit 2, that is structural organization in case of plants and animals. So here unit 2 also consists of 3 further chapters, that is chapter 5, 6 and 7. So I'll be dealing with chapter number 5 and chapter number 7. Is it clear? So I would like to first begin with chapter number 5, that is morphology of flowering plants. Okay. So here, like I have addressed you, I'll be dealing with the chapter number 5 called as morphology of flowering plants. Okay. So here the word morphology means that, okay, we can say that morphology means, okay, the branch of science, okay, the branch of science which includes the systematic study, okay, or the scientific study of external form, shape and structure. Okay, so here morphology means that the scientific study of external form, shape and structure of an organism. Okay, so here morphology is the one in which we can observe certain parts of an organism, okay, be it either plant or be it either animal. We can observe the parts of an organism with the help of our naked eyes, okay, without any help of any other instruments like such microscope and other lens, okay, without taking the help of other instruments. The structures or different parts which we observe with our naked eyes is itself termed as morphology. Okay, the external appearance of an organism is termed as morphology, okay, morphological appearance, and the branch of science or the scientific study of external form, shape and structure of an organism is termed as morphology. Okay, on the basis of morphology, we always find plants to be very attractive and very fascinated. Like I am very fascinated regarding plants, I find plants to be very attractive entities or very attractive organisms present on earth. Okay, so a typical flowering plant consists of different parts. Okay, I'll just show you this parts. You can see that. Here you can see that this is the diagram consisting of parts of flowering plant. Okay, so here this diagram consists of a typical flowering plant. A typical flowering plant in the sense ನಾವು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದರೆ, ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ನ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇರಬೇಕಂತ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ನ ನಾವು ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದರದ್ದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಲಿಯೋನು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಡ್ರಾ ಅ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ವಿ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ a root system and other as the shoot system. Okay, so the parts which are going into soil, okay, which are moving into the soil are called as root system. Over here you can see, and the parts which are moving towards the sky, okay, that is moving opposite towards the soil is called as shoot system. Okay, root system, there may be different kinds of roots. You get 3 basically: tap root, fibrous roots and adventitious roots. So when we move ahead for the shoot system, now we note shoot system consists of stem over here, okay, then branches are there, leaves are there, flowers are there, buds are there and fruits are there. So all the different components, okay, stem, flower, leaves, then branches, okay, buds, fruits, all these components comprises to form shoot system. Okay, so this is the typical diagram which you can take. So here I'll be showing you the different parts of flowering plant, wherein you can mark my words over here. Okay, the flowering plant basically consists of, okay, two systems. One is root system, okay, and other is the shoot system. Okay, so here we basically have two kinds of system in case of a flowering plant. One is root system and the other is shoot system. Okay, so these two are the system which are interlinked with each other. Okay, a root arises only when there is the presence of a shoot, or a shoot arises only when there is a presence of root system. Okay, this is how these two systems interlock with each other. Okay, and when we discuss about root system, okay, I'll take the root first. Okay, so here you can mark my words again that, see this particular system, root system, shoot system. Okay, shoot system consisting of the stem, leaves, fruits, seeds. See, all these systems are being deleted from your current NCERT syllabus. So you only have to study, okay, being lucky enough, you only have to revise about the inflorescence and the flower. So here, while coming back to the root system, okay, we know that roots are the one, okay, roots are present in case of plant just for the purpose of, so roots are present in case of plant just for the purpose of absorption of nutrients in case of plants. Okay, nutrients are present in soil, minerals are present in soil, nutrients are present in case of soil, minerals are present, water is present. So here for the basic requirement and growth of a plant body, they require all these components together. Okay, okay, so that's why there is the presence of roots in case of plants. Okay, so while we discuss further, we come to know that there are three kinds of root system which we see. Okay, so one is tap root system. Okay, one is tap root system, other is fibrous root, and third is adventitious roots. So tap root system is the one wherein we find these kind of root system in case of dicotyledon plants. Okay, dicotyledons. And here fibrous root system we find in case of monocotyledon plants. Okay, so here tap root system is the nothing but tap root system is the one wherein we find simple kind of root system. Okay, simple root system which is consist of simple kind of branches. Okay, just for your imagination, if this is a tap root system, it consists of primary root. Okay, and the sub branches from the tap root system are called as secondary root. Okay, so here this tap root consists of primary root and secondary root. But while coming for the fibrous root system, we find fibrous root system into multiple number of complex fibers. Okay, so this is fibrous root system. And adventitious root system is the one wherein you can imagine certain plants. Okay, just for example, take an example of mint plant. Okay, pudina, commonly called as. Okay, so mint plant, what it does for certain period of time, it grows upright. Okay, after certain period or after certain days, it fall off or it bends. Okay, while bending, the nodes from each stem, okay, I'll tell you further what are nodes. Okay, so the nodes from each stem bend off and gives rise to different roots which move into the soil. Okay, so here each node consists of the different roots. So here this kind of new rooting system is called as adventitious root system. Okay, so basically from this perspective we have three kinds of root system. Okay, one is three kinds of root system over here. Okay, one is tap root system. Okay, other is fibrous root system, and third is adventitious root system. Okay, so here I'll just write the words in brief. Okay, but here compulsory you have to elaborate these words or else you will not be getting any marks in case of examination. Okay, so we saw there are three kinds of root system. So coming back to the function of roots. Okay, so the function of roots, I have told you, they help in case of absorption. Okay, the basic function is absorption, whereas the rest of the function, okay, the rest of the function is taken or looked after by the stem, where whatever the nutrients or minerals absorbed by the roots, those are conducted by the stem to different parts of the plant. Okay, this is how nutrient absorption basically takes place by the roots. Okay, and that's why root move in case of soil. Okay, because roots move in case of soil because they know that the soil is rich in nutritive material for them, because it consists of certain nutrients, certain minerals and certain water content in it. That's why roots always try to move in case of soil. Apart from absorption, there is also other function. Okay, I'll just write over here. Okay, first is, you saw that it consists of absorption. Okay, so in some cases roots have messed up their way. Okay, in general terms we can say that roots in Madhyavandra, they have left the primary function of absorption and moved to the secondary function, that is called as storage. Okay, so storage you can see in case of sweet potato. Okay, sweet potato, carrot. Okay, these are the example wherein you can see. Okay, example beetroot too. Okay, beetroot. So here what you can see, sweet potato, carrot and the beetroot are the ones which we consume, right? So here you can see those are the swollen up. Okay, swollen ends which we can see. So here the main function of the roots is absorption, but in some cases they have changed their way and they have moved for the storage function. Examples are sweet potato, carrot and beetroot. Okay, for the certain period of time when they are young, okay, they start the function of absorption, but after certain days, okay, they leave the function of absorption and they start storing the food in them. Okay, the food whichever is synthesized, they start storing this food. When the storage is seen, we can see that the body of the root swells up and they contain all the food nutrition in them. Okay, examples you can take is sweet potato, carrot and beetroot. So this is one function apart from absorption, and the other functions you can see that on the basis of other functions we have seen different kinds of root. Those are prop root, stilt root and pneumatophores. Okay, here basically from the function point of view, while taking the study of prop roots, these are the specialized roots which are found in case of banyan tree. Okay, prop roots are found in case of banyan tree. So here you can imagine that if there is a banyan tree, okay, so this banyan tree has its roots inside, okay, inside the soil. But in some cases the banyan tree also start giving rise to certain other different branches from the topmost region of the stem, and these branches try to move inside the soil. Okay, we basically call them as branches, but they are actually the roots. Okay, so here this particular kind of rooting system is found in case of banyan tree. Okay, here it is the modification of root for support, because you can see that banyan tree is very thicker. Okay, just to gain certain support, the stem give rise to certain branches. Okay, the branches are further converted to form the root system. That's why they try to move into the soil for further strong support in case of soil body. Okay, that's why we see prop root system, and then we see stilt root system. Okay, stilt root, you can take the example of sugarcane plant or the maize plant. Here I'll just draw the example of sugarcane. Okay, this is a sugarcane. Okay, it is a monocotyledon plant. Okay, that's why we find fibrous root system in them. Okay, so here stem basically consists of node, and this is the region called as internode. Okay, from each node the different new kind of rooting system are arise. Okay, this root which arise, they try to move inside the soil, because the function of root, they know they have to move inside the soil to gain their nourishment. That's why this particular kind of root system is seen in case of sugarcane plant or the maize plant, and this kind of root system is called as stilt root system. Okay, and the last kind of root system are called as pneumatophores. Okay, just on the basis of the function, we also have modifications in roots. Okay, we studied about prop root system, we studied about stilt root system, and now we'll be studying about pneumatophores. Okay, pneumatophores, I guess you have heard this word in case of animals too. Okay, in case of animals, we have seen that pneumatophores are found in case of Coelenterata. Okay, in case of coelenterates, okay, so here we have seen that, or else you have seen the diagram of Portuguese man of war, okay, which is called as Physalia. Okay, its common name is Portuguese man of war. Okay, being a coelenterate, it consists of certain tentacles. Okay, so this is the Portuguese man of war. You can just have the imagination. Okay, so the Portuguese man of war or the Physalia consists of tentacles, and the upper part of the body is called as pneumatophore. Okay, so in case of Coelenterata, pneumatophore, and in case of plants also we find the similar words over here. Okay, but do not be confused with the words. Whenever the question is asked, define pneumatophore, you can give the definition for both of this. Okay, or else if it is asked what are pneumatophore function in case of animals, then you can give the function for animals, or else what are the functions of pneumatophore in plants, then you can give the function of plants. Okay, do not be confused with two words. Over here the two words are similar in spelling, okay, but the function is quite a bit different. Okay, pneumatophore function in case of animals, we see that it is a large hollow body cavity which is filled with gas in it. Okay, so gas is filled in case of this body because you see coelenterates are found in case of marine environment. So whenever they have to float towards the surface, okay, while floating towards the surface, the body may not sink at the bottom, but instead it may float on the surface of the water. That's why they have gas filled hollow cavity called as pneumatophore. In the same way, pneumatophore in case of plants, we see that certain plants of the marshy islands, certain plants of swampy areas, like example you can take is the rhizopores. Here you can take the example of rhizopores. Okay, here you can see that in case of rhizopores, okay, or the rhizophora, we see that certain plants are found in case of swampy areas. Okay, I'll just do one thing, I'll just give the picture of this pneumatophores over here. You can observe that these are the special kind of roots which are found in case of swampy area. Swampy area andre, this particular area is almost entirely covered with water. Okay, majority of its lifespan is covered under water. That's why these particular roots are found in case of swampy areas. Okay, here in the picture itself you can see there is a plant and there are different roots which are trying to move towards the atmospheric surface. Okay, they just leave the surface of the soil and they just try to move towards the move vertically upwards, just because they can get certain oxygen for respiration. Okay, here there will be the oxygen which has been lacking. That's why the roots try to move above the surface of the soil to get certain oxygen. Okay, so this kind of function is found in case of plants. So yeah, I told you that there are two, there is the same word pneumatophore, but is found in both animals and plants. Animals, pneumatophore is found in case of Physalia, wherein the body is filled with gas. That particular body cavity which is filled with gas is called as pneumatophore, which helps them to float on the surface of the water. But coming back to the plants, we see that the function of pneumatophores are nothing but these are the modified roots which are found in case of swampy areas, and these are found in case of rhizoporas, wherein the roots try to move upwards, okay, move in the upward direction so that they can give enough oxygen for respiration. Okay, so this is about the root system which you see. Okay, so I have dealt with the functions of different root system. The primary function is absorption, secondary function in some cases we find storage, and third we find modifications in roots. Okay, this is third function, that is modification of root, and the fourth function you can see that the roots help in support. Okay, they give support for the further stems which are been growing so that they can be very firmly attached to the soil, so that they can give very firm anchorage for the roots, of anchorage for the stem in case of soil. So these are all the basic functions of the root which you can study. So I have dealt about root in brief. I'll just repeat it for you. You have to remember that there are three kinds of root system. One is taproot system, other is fibrous root system, and third is adventitious root system. So on the basis of function, we find primary function to be absorption. In some cases we find as storage, and third we find modifications of root. So in case of modifications of root, we saw prop root system, stilt root system, and pneumatophores. And the last is, we can say that roots also act as the support system for the plants to grow. Is it clear? So this is about root system. So in my next video, you will be studying about stem and the leaves which are present in case of shoot system. Okay. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any doubt, you can ask me anytime. Thank you.